Gavin Newsom just threw his own party under the bus in a brand new interview. The California governor took a swipe at the Democrats, saying, quote, "I don't know what the party is. I'm still struggling with that." That criticism comes as the party tries to rebrand themselves as dark woke. The New York Times chronicling the rise of Democrats who think a new, provocative, edgy attitude will help them defeat Trump. And going dark woke is all the rage among Democrats who are desperate for authenticity.
This is what kicking the out of fascism looks like.
I think I could kick most of their I do think that.
Somebody slap me and wake me the up, because I'm ready to get on with it.
Total bull. Absolute bull.
Beef is, once you get successful, don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off.
And here's more dark woke nonsense. Seinfeld creator Larry David is trashing Bill Maher for visiting Trump at the White House after writing an op-ed in the New York Times called My Dinner with Adolf. And the climate doomsdayer Al Gore comparing the Trump administration with Nazi Germany.
I understand very well why it is wrong to compare Adolf Hitler's Third Reich to any other movement. It was uniquely evil, full stop. I get it. But there are important lessons from the history of that emergent evil. The Trump administration is insisting on trying to create their own preferred version of reality.
Okay, Jesse, the New York Times says that dark woke is the way for the Dems to get their groove back. What do you say?
Well, they said that about Dark Brandon, and he didn't get his groove back. So I talked to a Democrat the other day, did it by accident. I try to avoid these people, Judge, but he told me how things used to go with Pelosi. When she ran the thing, she would get her caucus together and get out a calendar. Say, okay, Friday the jobs numbers are coming out. On Tuesday, you're going to have a Pentagon hearing. On Thursday, NATO summit, and the next week, whatever. And she'd line up her best speakers for each of those issues, and she'd put them out on television and put them out on press conferences. And then everybody would get the same messaging. And they'd have the messaging for offense, and then they had it for defense, and then they'd have a legal strategy. And then she broke her hip, and the coup backfired, and she was collateral damage. So Hakeem is running the show. And no one fears Hakeem. Now, Nancy, if you crossed her, she'd probably launch an ethics investigation against you or strip you from your committee seat or something like that. But Hakeem doesn't have any clout. So now everybody goes wherever they want at the same time, and it's chaos. And he's afraid of the base. The base isn't afraid of them. That's why you're seeing people be rambunctious to get attention, and they're all, one's going to El Salvador, one's fighting with Fetterman. That's what you're seeing right now. So until they have someone that can run the ship like a captain, you're going to see more of this trash.
You know, that's such a good point, Dana. And the idea that, you know, the New York Times is saying that we need someone crass but discerning, rude, but only to a point. I mean, they're defining Jasmine Crockett.
So nobody does their marketing better than Democrats. How many times do they go to the well and pay consultants $1 gazillion to come up with something that is so dumb? And then the New York Times will write about it because they love process stories. Oh, look, they're really getting their act together. How is dark woke any different from before? It's a little bit more crude, it's a little bit more crass, but it's still the same result. They always do like all the easy stuff that they think is going to get them where they need to be, mostly because the media had helped them for a long time. But that ship has sailed, and I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe it is Gavin Newsom that's figured it out and said, I know how to break out and be somebody who is outside of Washington, who is saying, this party has changed. Let me be the one that comes in and solves everything and tries to cobble this back together. I know that at some point the Democrats will get their act together. I just find it really hard to imagine what that looks like right now. I can't imagine it.
Newsom saying, I don't know what the Democratic Party is.
But it seems like this is trying to take a page out of the Donald Trump playbook, clearly. And we've seen them try this before, and it hasn't worked for them. Even the New York Times piece references this new form of combative rhetoric. They said they want to win back the voters who have responded to Trump's no-holds-barred version of politics, right? So they want to go after dark woke. They say they've been locked in a respectability prison. They want to grab voters' attention. And I think the only thing you can take away from this is that they're not taking a page out of Trump's playbook. he focused on the issues. He spoke to voters directly. He addressed their concerns with policy pitches, and they're still focused on the messaging.
And what is that messaging, Greg?
That's a great question. They have no messaging. First of all, you got Al Gore and Larry David comparing the Trump administration to Hitler. They haven't been arrested for that. So that doesn't help their argument, does it? They don't care. The comparison still happens despite millions voting for this Hitlerian person. And I'm counting among his supporters, Jewish leaders and philanthropists, RFK Jr. and his wife Cheryl, who was in Curb Your Enthusiasm. Those are all apparently Nazi collaborators. It won't matter because to these lazy minds, calling somebody Hitler isn't a big deal to them. They've reduced the smear to just people that they don't like. It's no longer a mass murderer. So who knew liberals would be the one who gives Hitler a makeover? Now he's just some guy you don't get along with. Oh, he's like Hitler. I don't get along with him. Oh, I get it. Dark woke sounds like a new coffee brand at the Starbucks menu. It's like, I'll have a dark woke Colombian. But they're not doing it. I think what Gavin's doing and the party isn't doing is the heavy lifting. We've talked about the fact that they don't have any ideas, and we point this out. And the reason is because underneath whatever is generating their ideas is an ideology that prevents you from thinking outside your failed ideas and thinking of new ones. Of course, that's identity politics. It creates a tiny confined space, and it tells you that the outside world is contaminated. It's a reason why a new idea can't get out of bed because it's strapped to a gurney with a fat woke lady sitting on its chest. Imagine like you're going to a beautiful party and you want to go. It looks great. It's wonderful. But you're with a friend who says, you don't want to go in there. You're going to hate it. It's going to suck. That friend is no friend. That's identity politics. And that beautiful party is life. You become a boy in a plastic bubble, allergic to real human connection because you're not supposed to connect with those people because they're the oppressor. So behind this adherence to identity politics is ultimately a fear of this, that your entire mindset has been a waste. It's the sunk cost fallacy that I bring up a lot. A sunk cost of a bad relationship is not a reason to stay in a bad relationship. It's why wokeism, like a drug or like a violent spouse, will say, if you ever leave me, you'll die. It's why when people leave the left turns on them, just like an angry spouse.
Up next, Dana's got a new advice book, and we're all in it.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.